What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the T Drop, the only wrestling breakdown where we don't just call the spots, we call out the chaos, sometimes some drama, and with no soft behavior. And today we are talking about the one of the most polarizing WWE creative decisions in recent memory: John Cena turning heel, and why it never really clicked. Because for the first time, Cena himself is pulling back the curtain and saying what a lot of fans felt, that simply wasn't enough time to tell the story the right way. Let's rewind it for a second. At WWE Elimination Chamber, the wrestling world collectively lost their freaking mind when John Cena turned heel and aligned himself with The Rock. Something fans have been fantasy booking since the early 2010s finally happened. Cena goes on to defeat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, becoming the undisputed WWE champion and a 17-time champion, and enters what is arguably the most surreal chapter of his career. But here's the thing: despite the feuds with Randy Orton, CM Punk, and even R-Truth, a lot of fans just didn't buy it. Not because Cena didn't commit, but because 20 years of being the franchise face doesn't vanish overnight. Speaking with Bill Simmons on The Ringer, which, by the way, fabulous interview. Definitely, you guys got to check it out. Between Bill Simmons on The Ringer and Van Dillette interview this week dropping. Amazing interviews. Definitely check it out. Cena addressed the elephant in the room, and what he said is important. Cena explained that in wrestling, the knee-jerk reaction to criticism is usually, oh, the crowd is turning, make him a heel. But that wasn't how this decision came together. Cena made it clear this wasn't him pitching a heel turn and running wild with it. This was a creative direction that he was told to execute, and execute fast.
In our business, when you hear negative noise, the knee-jerk reaction is to jump on the audience, to turn heel, so to speak, to be a bad guy. But that's not what I was told. The person who can make those decisions and the creative body making those choices is saying, like, we're not doing that.
Well, that was Vince.
And even now, like in some cases, let's take the year of retirement. I think a lot of people were wondering what would happen if John Cena turned heel. Here I am, if I turned heel. And then when I did, it left a taste in people's mouth that they didn't like it. And like, they wanted other stuff. I wanted a music change. I wanted a uniform change. I wanted him to act like this.
Well, we've been talking about it for 15 years. Never thought it was going to happen.
I got 11 months to do this, 36 TV appearances. It takes 5 years to get a guy over, regardless. If you turn him, it's going to take a year or two on television for it really to sink in, especially if you really want to get into it and then be able to flip and then get a guy to get a nice, or get a performer to get a nice flip on the other side when it's time to turn again. I don't have the time to tell the right story, but that's besides the point, because I'm told we're going with this story. We sure are. I'm gonna do the best I can. And to be able to hear the audience be surprised and then kind of like, this is not what I wanted. It's not that you may or may not have wanted me to turn bad. It's that a lot of people started to realize, like, when I came out into a dome, I was like, 36 dates, that's it. It's hard to conceptualize. The first time I put a counter on after Vegas, and it went down to like, right down to 24. It was like, whoa. And then then the site started to pick up like 15 left, 12 left, 10 left.
So you're glad you structured it that way mentally, it sounds like. That you had it all for this whole year. Like, this is how it's going to play out.
By design, because I knew it had never been done. So how do I continuously send messaging of like, you're never going to believe it, you're never going to get it? I have to reinforce the fact that this is it.
The key line from that whole thing is that I got 11 months to do this. 36 TV appearances. That's it. Cena straight up admitted that turning a top guy takes time. Years, not months. If you want the audience to fully accept it, if you want them to emotionally flip with you, you need patience. And he didn't have that luxury for this year. This is where things really click. Cena said fans didn't just want him to turn heel. They wanted the full transformation. New music, new gear, new attitude, a complete visual and emotional reset. But doing that properly takes time and repetition. Cena said something that really stuck with us all. It takes 5 years to get a guy over, and a year or two for a turn to really sink in. Instead, he had 36 dates and a countdown clock constantly reminding fans and him this was the end. Every appearance wasn't heel Cena. It was, oh damn, he's really leaving. And that changes how fans reacted. Cena also talked about the psychology behind the retirement countdown. The numbers dropping, 24 dates, 15, 10. He said that once people saw that counter ticking down, something changed. It stopped being about whether Cena was good or bad. It became about loss. Fans weren't rejecting heel Cena. They were rejecting the idea that this was it. And honestly, that's a hard emotional lane to balance with villain heat. Here's the most important part. Cena has zero regrets. And that's exactly what he told him when Bill asked him.
I think it went better than anyone could have expected. The heel piece was the thing. It seems like you have like small regrets about it.
Not at all.
No?
No,
you don't think do you think it went perfectly, or like what would you have changed if you did it over again?
What is perfect? Here's what I do know. Perfect is never achievable. I think that's a sucker's chase. When I look back on it, could I have given any more than I did? Not a bit.
Yeah.
I over prepared. I tried to go to every corner of my emotional well-being. And the cool thing is, like, when the audience began to turn, we turned.
Yeah.
So like they helped it out. And that dynamic was a little bit ahead of schedule for, let's say, Cody and I, but it made for a great showing for the summer. So you choose, make, again, anecdotes, make New Day a bunch of heels. They're aspirational pastors, but they're bad guys. The crowd booed them, and then they loved them. Nobody wanted to change them good, but hey, it's time to change them good. You know, let's try John like this. I know we have limited time, but let's do something really big. Okay, it didn't work. Didn't mean I didn't give my all.
Perfect lines from this statement. Perfect is never achievable, so that's a sucker's chase. And that's true. Everyone can try a different story. Some people will accept it, some will not. Some will think it's great, some think it was mid. It's an opinionated thing. You can never achieve perfect. If someone tells you perfect, that's their opinion at the end of the day. When I tell you it's perfect, it's my opinion. You may not agree with it. And that's what he's trying to get at. The key thing you have to understand, he gave everything he had for this heel turn. Even for the whole year, he over-prepared. He emotionally emptied everything he can from his tank. And when the crowd started drifting back towards him as a babyface, of course, WWE pivoted. And that's what we got for the Cena and Cody match at SummerSlam. They adjusted, leading to a stronger Summer and Cena eventually losing the title to Cody at SummerSlam. Did the heel turn work the way people imagined? No, because it was too short. This is something that should have happened back, 2017, 2016, years ago. But Cena's point is simple. Trying something big and failing is better than never trying at all. So you got. All these fans got what they wanted. They got a Cena heel turn. It's just we didn't get it at the time we were hoping. And that's the unfortunate part, but that's the life we live. Now, with Cena's final match coming to a close, maybe the heel turn feels like a little less like a failure. We're going to have to take a couple weeks and months to actually feel it out. And more like the one creative swing before the curtain closes. We'll see how we feel about it after. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll ask you this. Did WWE wait too long for a Cena turn? Or was there never a version of this story that could have worked with the clock running out? Drop your thoughts in the comments.